now with me, Handy Gui for TVS Nightline, and here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak Governor supports the Orang Ulu National Association's call for more community leadership roles. The Malaysia Agreement 1963 Implementation Action Council will double the special grant for Sabah and Sarawak from 300 million ringgit to 600 million ringgit starting in 2025. In world news, millions in Southeast Asia grapple with floods and power outages after Typhoon Yagi triggers and landslides and river flooding. Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar has expressed support for the Orang Ulu National Association's request to increase the representation of the Orang Ulu community in leadership roles. Its president, Dr. Abu Bakar, said the matter was among the key points discussed during a courtesy visit to the Astana Negeri, Sarawak.
Bagusnya terima semua. Nya pun saya mata tanda orang lu kasih sayang. Bila ada pimpin jadi pimpin, orang yang layak, orang yang memang kita orang lu selalu beri sokongan. Sama-sama lah kita jaga hubungan di antara rakyat Sarawak lah. Jangan macam-macam lah. Paling benar aman. Tambah ban kita susah. Ya, utama. Orang semua jangan kira kaum. Semua kita Sarawak tu ada orang Malaysia.
He told this to reporters following the courtesy visit on Thursday. He hopes that with this increased representation, the Orang Ulu community will gain greater recognition and respect. Previously, the highest position held by an Orang Ulu leader was President of the Senate, a role held by the late Datuk Mutang Takau, who passed away on May 10, 2024.
A biography of Sarawak Governor Tun Pehin Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar will be published by University Technology Sarawak UTS this December. The publication serves to commemorate Tun Dr. Wan Junaidi's appointment as the university's second chancellor, as well as detailing his life journey and significant contributions throughout his illustrious career. UTS Vice Chancellor Professor Dr. Khairuddin Abdul Hamid said the biography will also include the governor's insights and advice on the future direction of UTS.
Beliau telah memberi kami berbagai nasihat lah, terutamanya dari segi dalam environment, macam mana kita ingin menyerapkan elemen-elemen environment dalam program dan juga pengurusan kami. Pandangan Tuan Yang Betul itu amat kami hargai lah. Dan ini akan membawa kami kepada satu peringkat yang lebih mencabar, dan kita dan pengurusan dan rakan-rakan saya akan balik dan akan cuba menguruskan universiti mengikut hara tuju dan juga nasihat daripada Tuan Yang Betul.
The Malaysia Agreement 1963 Implementation Action Council announced on Thursday a substantial increase in the special grant for Sabah and Sarawak under Article 112D. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof revealed that the allocation will double from the previously agreed interim amount of 300 million ringgit to 600 million ringgit, effective in 2025. However, the formula for determining the fixed amount of the special grant has yet to be finalised.
Jadi ada beberapa perkara yang kita bincangkan tadi, yang pasti yang utama yang diumumkan, mungkin pemberita tadi pun dah dengar dalam ucapan haluan Perdana Menteri tadi, iaitu berhubung kait dengan perkara 122D. 122D ini ialah peruntukan khas untuk Sabah dan Sarawak, di mana tahun lepas telah diumumkan sebanyak 300,000 untuk setiap negeri. 300 juta, 300,000 itu apa pun boleh bagi. Jadi 300 juta untuk setiap negeri, dan kalau mengikut ini merupakan interim. Yang sekarang ni dari segi formula tu belum dapat dimuktamadkan. Dan kalau ikut interim ni review dia every 5 years. Tapi tadi diputuskan oleh Yang Berhormat Perdana Menteri untuk menaikkan kadar interim ini daripada 300 kepada 600 juta ringgit untuk setiap negeri.
He made these remarks during a press conference following the first Malaysia Agreement 1963 Implementation Action Council meeting 2024 in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, chaired by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. Also present were Sarawak Premier Datuk Padinginan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg and Sabah Chief Minister Datuk Seri Panglima Haji Jinor. He mentioned that this increase was jointly approved to support the governments of Sabah and Sarawak.
Similarly, Fadilah said 3 unresolved matters at the technical committee level of the Malaysia Agreement 1963 MA63 will be raised to discussions between the Prime Minister, the Premier of Sarawak and the Chief Minister of Sabah. These matters include royalties, stamp duty taxes and the demarcation of the continental shelf.
All these matters were discussed at the technical committee level and subsequently brought to the Malaysia Agreement 1963 Implementation Action Council meeting on Thursday.
That's why it cannot be resolved at our committee, which is technical committee. And today, the direction is it will be discussed between Prime Minister, the Chief Minister and Premier. Because as you know, Sabah, there's NGO who brought it to the court. So it is also a matter of sub judice that we cannot discuss further, even in the public. So let them resolve it. And I believe with the wisdom of all the leaders, we'll find a solution to it.
Earlier in the meeting, Fadilah said that the federal government, Sabah and Sarawak agreed to continue discussions on these matters.
Kita bersetuju tadi perkara yang dalam kategori agree to disagree ataupun yang tak dapat diputuskan, di mana ada pandangan yang kuat daripada negeri Sabah dan Sarawak dan juga kerajaan persekutuan. Perkara ini akan dibawa ke peringkat paling tinggi, iaitu akan dibincang di antara 3 pimpinan tertinggi, iaitu Perdana Menteri, Premier Sarawak dan juga Ketua Menteri Sabah.
However, the date for further discussions between the 3 leaders has not been disclosed yet.
Still at the same event, the delegation of authority to the Sarawak Education Director to appoint district education officers, principals and headmasters for filling vacancies and acting positions has been finalised. However, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof said the delegation of appointment authority to the Director of the Sabah State Education Department is still under discussion.
Sabah masih perundingan masih sedang berjalan. Ada beberapa perkara lagi yang belum dapat diputuskan, dimuktamadkan. Tapi ada perkara lagi akan dirujukkan untuk kita dapat kepastian berhubung kait dengan kuasa pentadbiran untuk diserahkan kepada pengarah negeri Sarawak dan juga pengarah negeri Sabah. Berhubung kait dengan kuasa lantikan dan sebagainya. Itu
Fadilah added that this matter will be discussed again at the next meeting, particularly involving the delegation of power to the Sabah State Education Director.
Tapi yang dipersetujui apapun pelantikan nanti, Kementerian Pendidikan mesti merujuk terlebih dahulu ataupun consultation kepada Sarawak dan Sabah berhubung kait dengan apa-apa saja lantikan.
Previously, the Ministry of Education had delegated authority to the Sarawak State Education Director to approve projects funded by the Sarawak government.
The world's largest autonomous rail transit ART operator, Sichuan Chuanan Rail Transit Operation Berhad, is set to adopt Sarawak's innovative hydrogen-powered vehicle model. CEO of Sarawak Metro, Muslim Mustafa, highlighted that the state government's initiative, led by the Kuching Urban Transport System KUTS, has inspired the company to explore hydrogen as a sustainable energy source.
The Yibin-based Chinese company also announced plans to integrate hydrogen technology into its existing electric battery-powered ART vehicles, marking a significant step towards greener transportation. Mosley further explained that Yibin plans to add at least 5 new hydrogen-powered ART vehicles as part of their efforts to achieve zero carbon emissions. The Chinese company currently handles around 50,000 passengers daily with its fleet of 60 ART vehicles. Mosley also reaffirmed Sarawak Metro's commitment to providing comfortable and safe public transport while leading the decarbonization efforts in Sarawak's public transport sector.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, Malaysia is further solidifying its exploration of unmanned aerial vehicle UAV technology through a collaboration with China. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi announced that the partnership involves expertise sharing between Mara Aerospace and Technologies Sdn Bhd and Honeycomb Aerospace Technologies Beijing Co Limited, the third largest UAV technology company in China.
He explained that this cooperation allows Malaysia to develop UAV technology for both local and international markets, with applications in agriculture and border surveillance. The technology will be transferred to University Kuala Lumpur Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology in Sepang.
Tahun hadapan mereka akan melabur 100 juta ringgit di sebuah premis kekal untuk mereka selain memindahkan teknologi, mereka juga akan melatih pelajar-pelajar UKL dari segi TVS untuk UAV. Tujuan kerjasama ini diadakan adalah kerana kita lihat potensi UAV bukan hanya untuk pasaran tempatan tetapi juga untuk pasaran serantau.
He made this statement during a press conference after the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding MOU in Shanghai, China. The first UAV assembly is expected to begin next month with an initial production target of 3,000 units annually. In the agricultural sector, UAV technology will be used in Felcra paddy fields for fertilizing, spraying, and other processes.
The activities of the Global Equine Services and Business Holdings Group are contrary to Islamic teachings. Selangor Mufti Datuk Dr. Anhar Opir emphasized that the Muslim community in Malaysia should be more cautious and always refer to authorities, especially on matters of faith and religion.
Dr. Anhar Opir commented on the recent developments of the business group believed to be exploiting children and religion in their activities. Last Wednesday, the Inspector General of Police, Tan Sri Razaruddin Hussein, stated that a Royal Malaysia Police investigation found that the modus operandi in 20 early homes operated by GISBH involved victims being taught and trained on sodomy and then sodomized by caretakers and forced to sodomize other children. He said that child victims and religious sentiments were used to gain sympathy and obtain donations from outsiders. In addition, Razaruddin also confirmed the use of hot objects as punishment marks on children under care at charity centers run by GISBH. The Operation OP Global involved 705 police officers and personnel. The operation was also supported by 287 strategic partners from the Social Welfare Department JKM, the Ministry of Health Malaysia KKM, and the Malaysian Chemistry Department to combat the criminal activities. As of Wednesday, 8 investigation papers have been opened and pertain to the offences under the Children Act 2001, Act 611, the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017, Act 792, the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act 2007, Act 670, the Penal Code, Act 574, and other applicable laws.
Malaysia's domestic tourism showed an impressive growth in 2023, recording a total expenditure of 78.7 million ringgit compared to 59.2 billion ringgit in the previous year. The figure is the latest findings released in the Tourism Satellite Count 2023 by the Department of Statistics Malaysia DOSM today.
Chief Statistician Datuk Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said the increase in domestic tourism expenditure was mainly attributed to shopping activities, food and beverage, and automotive fuel. Regarding inbound tourism, he reported a significant increase in expenditure, reaching 75.8 billion ringgit compared to 33.8 billion ringgit in 2022. In terms of employment, Muhammad Uzair said the tourism industry employed 3.4 million individuals in 2023, an increase from 3.2 million in 2022. He noted that employment within the sector was dominated by retail trade, food and beverage, and country-specific tourism services. Additionally, Muhammad Uzair said the tourism sector contributed 15.1% or 275.8 billion ringgit to the GDP in 2023, a 10.3% growth from 250.1 billion ringgit in the previous year. The tourism direct GDP in 2023 also saw a rise to 81.2 billion ringgit from 48 billion ringgit in 2022.
Now, millions of people across Southeast Asia struggled on Thursday with flooded homes, power cuts and wrecked infrastructure after Typhoon Yagi swept through the region. Yagi brought a colossal deluge of rain that has inundated a swathe of northern Vietnam, Laos, Thailand and Myanmar, triggering deadly landslides and widespread river flooding, as the death toll passed 200.
In worst-hit Vietnam, the fatalities rose to 197, with 9 confirmed dead in northern Thailand, where one district is suffering its worst floods in 80 years. Vietnam's Agriculture Ministry said the high waters have devastated more than 250,000 hectares of crops and huge numbers of livestock. Thousands have been forced to evacuate their homes, while others are struggling with power cuts. Meanwhile, Myanmar's National Fire Service confirmed the country's first Yagi-related deaths after 17 bodies were recovered from flooded villages in the Mandalay region, while more than 50,000 people have been forced from their homes. Myanmar's junta government has set up around 50 camps to help people affected by the floods. Over in Thailand, the death toll includes 6 killed in landslide in Chiang Mai province. Heavy monsoon rains lash Southeast Asia every year, but human-made climate change is causing more intense weather patterns that can make destructive floods more likely. Climate change is causing typhoons to form closer to the coast, intensify faster and stay longer over land, according to a study published in July.
Wrapping up the Nightline, the World Health Organization (WHO) announced earlier today that the largest medical evacuation from Gaza since October 7th, and said at least a quarter of those hurt in the war had life-changing injuries. With the help of partners, the WHO on Wednesday evacuated 97 sick and severely injured patients from the war-torn Palestinian territory to Abu Dhabi for specialized care.
The patients, including 45 children, were suffering from a wide range of diseases like cancer, as well as serious trauma and other injuries. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus hailed the success of a highly complex operation despite severe operational challenges and insecurity. The patients and 155 companions had first been transferred from 4 locations across Gaza to a hospital in the center of the territory before being flown to Abu Dhabi. The WHO said it was especially complicated to extract the patients who had been in hard-to-reach northern Gaza. The patients were among the more than 10,000 people that the WHO has estimated require urgent medical evacuation. According to the Health Ministry in Gaza, At least 41,118 people have been killed in Israel's assault on the enclave. The WHO today said it had determined that at least a quarter of all those wounded in the war up to July 23rd, at least 22,500 people, had suffered life-changing injuries, many requiring amputations and other huge rehabilitation needed for years to come. Many thousands of women and children figured among those badly injured, and that many had suffered more than one injury.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates with locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Handy Gui. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.